Welcome to Conversations Live. For more than a decade, we've brought you the best in books, entertainment, celebrity interviews, and current events. When the movers and shakers of the world have something to say to you, they say it to us first. Here's your host, Cyrus Webb.
Welcome back, everyone, to Conversations Live. I'm your host, Cyrus Webb. Glad you all could join us once again. But for our radio audience tuning in here in Mississippi at WYAD 94.1 FM and WYADonline.com, we're glad that you all can be with us. Also, tuning in to our friends at iHeartRadio and Amazon Music Podcast. We're glad you all could be with us as well. We always are trying to remind you of what's possible in your life, and no one knows that better than our next guest. We're excited to welcome head coach Justin Washington to our program today. He's joining us from Yazoo City High School football. We're going to talk to him not only what it's been like for him as a coach, but also the examples he's been able to look forward to, what it's been like for him now to be able to help others as a coach, and, of course, that you guys know how to stay connected with him as well. Coach, thank you a lot for the time. Really do appreciate it.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Thank you for having me on and being able to do this conversation with you.
Hey, man, the pleasure's definitely all ours. So, as I mentioned, of course, you are the head coach for the Yazoo City Indians, for Yazoo City High School. I want to talk about this experience for you, Coach, because one thing I noticed when I was prepping for this segment with you is that, of course, you've been able to kind of share the journey along with us on Facebook. What has it been like for you to see the way that the young people you're working with are really so passionate about the sport?
It's been great. It's been great. With me being a person that's born and raised here in Yazoo City, it's been great to see that pride is still there. Just trying to showcase it a little more on a broader scale. It's been great. The kids that we have had a great opportunity to have kids coming out and participating. They've been showing interest in the work that we're giving to them, and they've been putting out. So we're just trying to keep it that way and continue to build from there.
Coach, have you always known that leadership, that was something that you were meant to do, that you were a person who was meant to be able to lead and to help inspire others?
I wouldn't necessarily say I always have been, there to do that. I've always been, a pretty smart person, pretty a different thinker. I've always been that. But necessarily the leadership out front role has not necessarily always been there. I think that came along once I got to college, and I started playing football myself, and I had a guy there, Coach Randy Grierson, that kind of pointed out the coaching way for me. And me and him had some conversations, and he pointed me in the direction, and, man, I took off from there. And so it's been a journey since then.
Yeah, and I'm glad you mentioned, of course, you're playing football yourself, because I think one of the things that as I've been hosting the show over the years that a lot of people realize, they look at individuals like you, Coach, and look at things that you've been able to do, look at others, and they see that kind of as the destination. I think for you, it seems like you realize that football was part of the journey to get to where you want to go. So talk to us about that. What is it that led you to want to play football?
Well, I actually probably started doing it because my friends were doing it. They were all playing ball. We would be in the backyard playing together, having a good time. And so since they were going to play football, of course, I wanted to do the same thing. But I've never been one that liked to lose. So once I started playing football, then I started doing the work that it took to actually become, a decent player. And then, of course, it just grew from there. So, but it definitely has taken me different places and allowed me to meet a variety of people, and that's something that I want to share with these guys that I'm coaching now, that don't let football, use you. You use football. And so I have been able to do that throughout my life, and it's taken me many places, and that experience it was a great one. So why not share that with people that I actually have, family on the team and friends, children, and things like that. So why not share that with those people?
Right, exactly. I love the fact that you're able to be an example for them, Coach, maybe even in situations where they may not have anyone, maybe even in their family they can look to. I want to talk about who were some of those that you looked to when you were growing up. Who were some of those people that kind of motivated and inspired you?
Okay. So I was one of those people that my dad was around all the time, and he's probably my biggest competitor, I would say. I have a running joke that I'm always trying to outdo him because he's always getting some kind of new accolade. So he was always there as a role model. But my coaches definitely played an important role. And as I got into coaching myself, I remember that. So I would say it started off with my baseball coach, Coach Gerald Payton. He was one that kind of took me under his wing and decided to, help me, even though I wasn't the best player at the time. And he really showed me that, if you could put in the work, that you could get better. So he was probably the first one. The AD currently now at the school is Coach Tony Woodfall. He was another one that really played a role in my blossoming, put me right in the fire as a ninth grader, and helped me get better in that aspect. And then I ended up moving from Yazoo City, and so when I got there, Coach Edwin Norwood and Coach Carshay Peterson, they were two people. One was my defensive coordinator in football, and the other one was my basketball coach. Once again, just men that looked like me, that were successful in a field that a lot of people, said they didn't make a lot of money, but they showed me that it was purpose. And so, once I got to college and had that conversation with Coach Grafton, who I mentioned earlier, once I had that conversation, and it all resonated to me. And so then we hit the ground running on trying to be successful in this atmosphere.
Right. You said something real important, Coach, and it's something I don't think even I've talked about enough over the years, because I think sometimes we take things for granted. But it does make a difference, right, to have someone who does look like us doing something that we want to do or aspire to do, or that encourages us to do something. Going back to now where you find yourself, is that also what you see as a privilege that you're able to do for, the young men there, the Yazoo City Indians, of being able to be that person for them?
Definitely. I feel like, especially with me coming back here, I've had opportunity to be that person in many different other locations, but coming back here where it all started, all began, and being that, that shining example is definitely something that I don't take for granted. I believe that I've had an instant impact, with being a person that's from here, that looks like them, that was able to leave, prosper, and then come back and give back. So I definitely don't take that lightly. And I also have some friends that are coming along, that are showing their faces, that are also doing the same thing, showing them that, hey, look, we're from here, we did it, you can do it too. And I think that type of mindset and that type of giving back is only going to help the children grow.
Right. Such a great point. Such a great reminder, I think, for all of us, for those who are just tuning in, either on the radio side or online. You're listening to Conversations Live. We're speaking to head coach Justin Washington from Yazoo City High School. Of course, he's coaching the Yazoo City Indians. We're talking with him not only, of course, about what it's been like for him to coach the guys there at Yazoo City High School, but also just his beginnings as well, what's been like for him to be able to see examples of what's possible, and then, of course, to be able to show other people what's possible too. I want to talk a little bit about challenges, though, Coach, because, going into any new place, there's going to be challenges for sure. What do you think helped you prepare to get here to where you are? Because, we all have heard the saying, new level, new devils. What kind of helped you to be able to take on this new role?
I think just my start. I haven't always been successful, I would say. I ended up leaving playing football in college and joining the military to combat that, and then coming back and having to get back in school and glad to finish a degree that that normally should have been easy for a person coming out of high school as myself, who had the good grades, who had the test scores. So that struggle right there and overcoming that, and then just my coaching start. I actually started coaching for free. I was a volunteer, and so, but when I started, the accountable is those that were getting paid, and so just doing is have to put your all into it. I think that has prepared me. Put upon myself doing my coaching career to take upon some roles that weren't the best scenarios. When I took on the defensive coordinator role, my first defensive coordinator role, at Oklahoma County. They hadn't been to the playoffs in 6 years. So, I think that definitely prepared me of knowing that, hey, look, you're walking into a situation that isn't traditionally used to winning in this sport, and how can you, combat that? And then, I took on a kind of different role the next year, championship. So the expectation and demand was different there, but still a challenge as well. And then my experiences of leaving the state and going to coach elsewhere and seeing how it's done there, and what things were successful and the resources that they had, and how you can use those to prosper. And then now coming back home to bring it all full circle, I think all that is going to help me in my future going forward. So if we can just, stay on track and use those experiences, I think we'll be okay.
Right. And other people are noticing you as well, Coach. One of the posts that I noticed that you made recently, you used a hashtag there I'm going to talk to you about here, but I noticed one of your friends, Scott Philando, in talking about your being there, said, I'm sure the young Bucks will learn a lot from you in football and in life. So considering what you just said, how does that feel to know that other people on the outside are looking at you and realizing not only the impact you can make, but also what people can get from you?
Man, I think that's great. So Scott Philando, man, he's actually a former teammate of mine when I was at Delta State. So he played football there with me. And actually, man, that makes me feel good to know that, when I played there, he was an upperclassman. I redshirted my first year, and then, of course, my redshirt freshman year. So I'm a young buck compared to him. He's a few years older than me. But to have him, pay attention enough and to have that to say about me really, spoke volume to me and just makes me want to work harder. To know that no matter, I haven't seen Scott now in years, probably, I would say probably 5 to 10 years easily. But just to know that people are still keeping tabs on you, watching you, what you're doing, how you're going about your business, and then, being able to get that back from them. And I think a lot of that is social media too. And, as you can tell with the hashtags and with the posts, we're trying to use social media to kind of spread the pride around it and get it back. And just him not being able, us not having contact in 5, 10 years face to face, but him still being able to keep up with me and then send a message like that, man, I'm telling you, that made me feel good. He's not the only one. Once I confirmed the job, I had several teammates, several former friends, several military battles to reach out and have things to say. And man, it's all been great, man. It's all been well received.
Yeah, and speaking of social media, shout out to our station manager, Mr. Joseph Thomas Jr. He pointed out to me something that I saw on one of your posts, and that is the hashtag you use, Pound the Stone. Talk to us about that and what it means for you, and also what it means for the guys on the team.
Okay, so Pound the Stone came from a book that I actually read, and I'm the first to say, man, I'm always stealing ideas from winners, people that have been successful at winning. I'm stealing ideas from them. And the reason for reading that book actually came from the basketball coach at Yazoo City High School, Mr. Anthony Carlisle. They just won the 4A state championship, ranked number 1 in the state. And me and him had some discussions beforehand, and he used the hashtag as well, which was chop wood, carry water. And I asked him what it meant, and he explained it to me. And so when I looked it up, I also saw that this book, Pound the Stone, was a sequel to his. And I felt like that was very fitting with me coming in after the state championship ring, and after, he's used the hashtag to me to read that book and understand what he was trying to get across to his players. He was successful doing it, and it caught fire as well. And so, like I said, I'm always one to steal ideas from winners. And when I read the book, I actually I listened to the book because I have it on audio. But as I listened to it, that Pound of Stone, basically, it just talked about a young man who had it all, who had been able to be successful, but he was now faced with a particular challenge that he wasn't used to not being the best. But in order for him to become good and get better at what he was doing, he just needed to chip away a little bit at a time. Just keep going. Not trying to do it all at once, but just finding his purpose and just continue to hit that. And so, once I got done with that book, it was an immediate resonation to me that, look, hey, this is it. This is what we need to do. This is how we need to approach it. This is how we need to get back on track. And man, I started using it, and it has caught on so far. And we're just trying to continue to spread that out.
Gotcha. Last thing I want to talk to you about, Coach, and we're going to remind our audience that they can stay connected with you, is about what we can do, because, of course, a lot is put on you as the head coach of the football team. Of course, people are looking to you for guidance, for leadership. However, the community does have a role. So what do you want us as a Yazoo City community and a state, what do you want us to do that can help to support you and what you're trying to do there with the football team?
Well, the first thing, and I think it's always the biggest thing, is just resources. Think of resources, and we think of money, and money is as important as anything in running a program. But one of the resources is time as well. Time and showing your face, coming out to support these kids, letting these kids know that, hey, you're a football player, but you're so much more than a football player. We want you to be a student athlete, So just coming around, hey, those people that have had success in the community, we want those people to come back, lend a helping hand. They can reach out to me. We'll try to schedule a time for them to talk to the guys, and just get the face back into the program and let these guys know that, hey, look, you can be great. You can be great at whatever you decide to do. If football doesn't work out, which we know that everybody doesn't make it to the league. So you can be great at whatever you decide to do. So being a student first, having good character is just as important as being good on the football field. And so, lending a helping hand in that. And like I said, finally, the resources. So going forward with the money, we'll be doing some fundraisers at some point. We'll be doing maybe some cookouts and things of that nature. And we're asking the community just to help out with that. Anything is better than nothing. So whether it's $1 or up to $1,000, whatever it is, anything is better than nothing to try to get these kids the equipment, the resources they need in order to compete at a high level. We really would appreciate the Yazoo community to doing that and helping us out.
All right, so you guys heard it there. That's what you can do to be able to help out when it comes to the team this season. Again, everyone, head coach Justin Washington has been our guest, joining us, of course, from Yazoo City High School football team, Yazoo City Indians, talking with us about his journey, what he's looking forward to this year, and, of course, our role in all of this. Coach, congratulations to you, man. Glad to have you be a part of the community again. How can our audience stay connected with you?
Yes, sir. So we do have a Facebook page that you can reach out and follow us on. That Facebook page is Yazoo City HSFB. You can type that in and follow us, and on that page you will find our Instagram, Twitter, and all that posted as well. Also, if you want to just reach out and have some kind of communication with me, my number I can be reached at is 803-237-2946. So those are the ways to stay connected. If you send us a message to either one of those social media platforms, we'll definitely get back to you, as well as you give me a call, or we can have a conversation. And I have an open door policy. I'm looking forward to talking to whoever is trying to be on board as we try to pound the stone and get better at the program.
All right. Well, Coach, again, congratulations to you. Thanks a lot for taking out the time to be with us, and looking forward to having you back on the broadcast again, man.
Yes, sir. Thank you for having me as well.
Okay, glad to do it. And we thank you, our audience, for tuning in to another great segment of Conversations Live. Until next time, I'm your host, Cyrus Webb, saying, as always, enjoy your day, enjoy your life, enjoy your world. Thank you all for choosing Conversations Live, and let's go make today amazing. Take care.